What's up, everyone? It is Jason, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna share with you some of the first steps that I'm going through in programming my WMX1 lighting controller from WOLFMIX and ADJ. Now, I shared a video about how I am so mind-bent and blown about this controller, and that's legit. If you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to share it with you at the end of this video. I'm going to put a link to it over here, and I think that if you're in the market to elevate your DMX control programming experience, this is a controller that you need to consider buying because it's standalone. There are so many cool things that it can do. It does automation. It does just a lot, and I will be doing a number of videos about this controller here on the channel in the days, weeks, and months ahead. So I wanted to take you into how I'm starting my programming and what and how I'm doing it here at SCE. So first and foremost, let me show you my little control station, and that's right here. We've got the WOLFMIX WMX1 right here, the controller. I have it actually powered by the Jackery, along with my wireless DMX for my uplights and my WDMX for my moving heads. Two different wireless DMX technology, but no problem for this controller because you get 4 outputs and I'm only using 2 now. So I'm using 3 different types of fixtures. We're using my MAVERICK 4-set spots, along with 2 different types of imported uplights, which are RGB AW UV. Very powerful. I'm using them in 10-channel mode, and these lights up top, the Mavericks, are being used in 29 DMX channel mode. So I wanted to share with you the process that I'm going through. First, setting up my controller. I used my controller last weekend. I spent a ton of time programming and using it, and I realized quickly when I was on set at my events, I could do things more efficiently and better. So I wiped the slate clean. I restarted today, and here we are. Now, in this controller and with this controller, you have the ability of defining a number of presets as well as live edits. Presets are essentially like pre-built shows that you can just push the button to essentially operate. Live edits are a little less abundant, meaning you only have 40 of them, and they are essentially like overlays on top of the presets used by this controller. From a preset perspective, I think you get like 400 to use. And from an overlay perspective or a live edit perspective, you only get 40. So I wanted to share with you the process that I'm going through. And rather than start by what I think most people would want to do, and that's operate and program the preset portion of the control, I'm actually reversing it, and I'm actually starting with my live editor, and I'm defining things that are essentially deeper into the controller and the operation of the units, my moving head specifically. Things like activating the wash, a spot, a medium spot, a tight beam, some of my focus channels, also a prism. I have a slow prism, a medium prism, a fast prism, and some of the other things that I think could be incredibly valuable, and when I move into the preset programming will make my life easier. Things like establishing a warm light. Now, these movers are CMYK capable, so you can really get to any color, and I found, and I basically created a warm white with color mixing, and I think it looks awesome, so I put that in there. I also added some color scrolls, and I don't mean like color wheel scrolls, I mean like smooth scrolling through colors that I think look really cool at my events. I also did 2 different types of gobo wheels because these movers have 2 different gobo wheels. So rather than using the predefined gobos that come pretty much standard with the WMX1, I actually went in and I defined both color wheels with scrolls and identified some of the gobos that were left out of the pre-selected options that come with this controller. That's gonna make, when I get into the preset stage of my programming, a lot easier. Now, in total, you get 40 different live edits, and thus far, I think I am just about shy of about 15 or so. So I have a bunch more to program, but I'm offering this to you because if you're looking to reestablish or set up one of these controllers, you really need to know how you like to use your lights, what you want your lights to do, and you really got to think through it. You know, I spent about 3 hours programming lighting here in this warehouse last week. I then used this controller 2 different events last weekend, and I quickly realized I could be doing things a lot better and differently. I would highly encourage you to check out some of the awesome videos about this controller here on this platform, and stay tuned because I'm going to share a bunch of more videos about my programming sequence, the steps that I went through, and some of the things that I'm doing using it at my events for us at SCE, and I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that if you are a fan and user of this WOLFMIX platform, that you find some value in some of the things that I'm doing just firsthand for my own events. All right, boys and girls, it's time to show you how I've kind of first started setting up the live editor palette here, the first page of my live editor on my WOLFMIX, and I essentially thought about how I work and how I can easily recall and think through some of the overlay options that I will most likely want to do in the future when I'm using my presets. So first and foremost, the controller comes out of the box operating in a beam form. So what I did is I created a wash overlay, which essentially takes all of my lights and makes a wide wash pattern. I created a spot which tightens it up a little bit and puts it in focus. I then put a medium spot which brings it down a little bit tighter and of course in focus. And then I created a beam which is a super narrow actual lighting pattern. So if I'll just scroll through it real quick so you can see it. There's medium, there's a little bit bigger, and there's my wash. Now, in addition to that, I took it up another level with prisms. I love using prisms in my shows. So with this live editor, I created 3 different speeds for my prism. Now, I know I can do some other things with the speed control here on the WOLFMIX, but I think sometimes it's easier to be able to like adjust it on the fly and not have to like toggle through a million pages. So I set up a prism that is slow. I set up a prism that is medium, and I set up a prism that is fast. And you see it here using a spot live edit program or, you know, overlay that I set up as well. Let's show them what that looks like, RJ. So there's fast, there's slow, and there is really slow. So it's fast, medium, and slow. What else did I do? I set up a warm white, which essentially sets me up for images, maybe a little bit softer of a color for a first dance if I'm doing like a first dance or a call out moment. I also incorporated 2 different rainbow scrolls of color where it's a color scroll, but not the color wheel scroll. This is more of a smooth blend of colors. So if you look up, you see the colors essentially are bending into each other. Very smooth, not jerky. You don't see the gobo wheel scrolling. That's a medium, and then this is a slow one, which I think is really cool sometimes when you have it focused on the dance floor and or around the room. It just kind of shifts things around. In addition to that, I actually took both gobo wheels and I did a slower gobo scroll with each wheel. These fixtures have 2 wheels in it, so I did 1 for each and I put them in focus. That looks something like this. So that's the first one, and it goes through. There's about 8 gobos in each wheel, and then I have the second one, which looks like this. That will help me spice up the visuals of my presets in the future. Now, I've got a bunch more that I want to program, but that at least is enough to kind of get me started, get me moving, and to really spice up my overall shows when I start doing the preset design. And that's where I'm going next. The next video you may see is going to have a lot more defined in terms of presets and how I will be actively managing these lights at my event. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you have questions or whatever, please show some love, or leave a question in the comments underneath this video. Be sure to smash the thumbs up button and be on the lookout for more content right here about this controller here on this channel. Now, if you are interested in getting information about this controller, I'm going to put some links in this video in the description where you get some super dope hookups and some things to get you on point, get you moving in the right direction, and get you using one of these for your events. I love this controller, a standalone powerful and robust controller right here by ADJ and WOLFMIX, the WMX1. That's a controller. A lot of videos of it right here on this channel and on this platform, YouTube. Anyway, leave me a question if you have one, and I appreciate you checking this video out. Thanks for watching.